Hi, everybody. This is Carrie Hamblen, the CEO and President of the Las Cruces Green Chamber of Commerce, coming to you again with our regular Zoom chats with members of the Green Chamber. During this time of COVID and social distancing, we are using our social media platform to help promote our member businesses as they continue to pop up on your social media feeds and let you know what they're doing during this time of COVID, either making sure that they're practicing they're taking sanitary measures to make sure that their buildings are safe, or what they're doing to help people go through and cope with COVID as it impacts their business. And today we have with us George Santillan, who is the owner of Business Builders LLC. He is also a member of the Green Chamber Board of Directors. And so, George, it is lovely to see you. You were kind of out of commission for a little while. So I'm glad that you're back and upright and vertical and doing your part to help businesses during this time of COVID. So, you know, we'll get to like what you've been able to do with help with businesses during COVID, especially with the CARES Act. But tell folks a little bit about what you do as Business Builders LLC.
Basically, I just try to make companies to structure them as if they were a major corporation. So when they apply for loans, on paper they look really good as business credit. And business credit is completely different than from regular credit. So I'm building their company profile. So one of the things that banks look at is they have to be a legitimate company.
Yeah.
So what the banks are looking for, just simple things, a website. They're looking for a business phone number, and they verify that with 411. They look for your website. They go into it and look at your services that you provide or products. So whatever you put on your application is what they're looking at. And they also check with the state to make sure you are recorded with your articles of corporation or LLC. Your EIN number, hopefully they have a Duns and Bradstreet number. That's how they get reported to the bureaus for the Dun and Bradstreet, Experian commercial, and TransUnion commercial also. So it's a process.
And George, so how important is having good credit as a business? I mean, what does that open the doors for a business to do?
It opens doors widely if they have really good credit, 680 and above. Especially if they're a startup. And if they're a startup and they don't have good credit, it's almost impossible to get funds. Nobody's going to loan you any money. However, if you set up business credit, you can borrow up to $100,000 with no personal guarantee or no credit check. Mm-hmm. But you got to be set up properly.
I see. And so during COVID, you were really helpful for a lot of businesses in helping them reach out to local banks for the CARES funding, right?
Yes, we did. I help a lot of businesses get funds. Yes, I helped do the paperwork for it with the PPL plan.
And that's got to be a little overwhelming for a small business, especially when they're trying to juggle like, oh my gosh, I've got this pandemic, I've got employees to work on or to worry about. I have customers and clients to worry about. I have to make sure that I'm going to be open in the long run. I mean, how terrifying that is for businesses that we've seen go through this during this time.
Yes, it was. I panicked a little bit, but I was able to get them some funds. And one of the things that I found in most of these businesses were commingling their personal and their business funds.
Ooh, that's not a good thing, right?
No, it's not. Because if you want not to pay back that loan, then you have to show that you have you do have a business account. Mm-hmm. They want to know where those funds went to.
I see.
Yeah.
And so have you, during this time, what have you had to do to adapt? I mean, yours is kind of able to be done like what we're doing right now is having these conversations through whatever video conferencing platform you want to use and then helping with those documents. But have you seen any impact to your business during this time?
For the most part, a little decline when it first started, and afterwards, once the funds came out and were available to business owners, then I got pretty busy.
Oh, I bet. But I think, George, you know, like many businesses of showing. And really, I've seen this time and time again with small businesses becoming very creative, being able to adapt, being very resilient. And I think that's just a testimony to just the strength of small business owners that we have, not just in Las Cruces, but I think all over the country who are experiencing similar things.
Yes, they have been making changes.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot more videos, more commercials, especially on Facebook and Instagram. There's a lot more advertising. So they are doing something to get business going. So that's a good thing.
Right. Well, that's something that we've been talking about a great deal, is to make sure that you're visible on social media, which you've done quite a bit. And one of the things that you recently posted about was that you authored a book. And so tell us about the book.
Well, I had a little bit of free time, and I've had a lot of notes and been wanting to do this for the longest, but uh, just was one thing or another, either home or mainly work, keeping busy, and I finally was able to have the opportunity to finish my book. And I was able to finish my book regarding on credit. This is the biggest thing in America that I've seen, that 89% have some sort of errors in their credit report. And this is part of the problem, that they're not familiar. They don't know the laws, the credit laws to help them. And these collection agencies take advantage of them. Some of the simplest things that I've seen is what they call the DLA, the date of last activity on your credit report. That triggers the statute of limitations, which is 7 years. Some states are different. New Mexico is 7. So not knowing that, and you don't know when your statute of limitation is up, because you don't know that account. And if it gets sold to the different collection company, then they start it all over again. So
Right.
it goes on and on and on.
And then when it gets sold to a different collection company, then it just compounds that negative effect on your credit score, right?
Yes, that's true. And that's against the law, against the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That's illegal. They can't do that. But you don't know the laws, so how are you going to report it?
Right. And also, I remember years ago when I was applying for my mortgage on my house, and had the credit report. And I remember from when I was like 19 having a Chevron gas card, as a means of trying to develop my credit
Right.
history, on there that I didn't have anymore. And I had to cancel that card because even though I hadn't used it for 15 years, it was still showing up on my credit report.
It stays on there for life.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, out of the book, I mean, we certainly, and so what's, and I'll certainly put the title of your book in the text of this, but what's the title of your book, and how can people get a copy of it?
Well, the title is Journey to 800 Credit Scores, and it's on Amazon. On the search bar, just hit the title, it'll pop right up.
That's fantastic. What do you think out of this? I mean, obviously, we would love for people to purchase your book, because can this also apply to business credit?
Well, it's going to help them with business credit because they're going to need their personal credit fixed.
Oh, okay. So
And
might as well start with where it springboards off of, right? Is your personal credit first.
Yes. In the book are the techniques and strategies that I use to help people. So they're all in the book.
Would you be willing to give one of those strategies as a little teaser?
One of the I'll give
Okay.
another one.
Okay.
Is the strat. One of the thing is, and it's a simple one, is pay your bills on time. That can really, especially an auto or a mortgage, can drop it from 80 to 100 points.
Wow.
I'll give you another one. Credit cards. You have a line of credit. So you have a $500 line of credit and your balance is $475. You've just now increased your interest rate. If you had a 16 or 18, you went up to 22, 24%. It's in the contract. People just don't read the contract, but it's in there.
That small print is deadly.
It's very, very deadly.
And they depend on people not to read that.
Exactly.
They just rely on that's not going to happen. But when it's, and how does a credit score, if you can just kind of generalize, how does a good credit score or a bad credit score impact you in ways that, you don't see right off the bat? Like what are different ways that people can be impacted by that and not really realize it?
Well, right now on the interest rate on home loans, people are purchasing homes like crazy here and in El Paso, and it really affects the interest rate. anywhere 1 or 2 points. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money in the long run.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that you don't think about is credit cards. It's the simplest thing to get, and they give it to you.
That's nuts. Well, George, it's great that you have this service available for businesses, especially the city has a small business grant program right now that they're offering to local businesses in the city proper. And I know that you're knowledgeable about those and just all the different routes that seem really overwhelming, especially for small businesses right now when they're trying to juggle so much. It's really important to get that help in an area if you don't know what to do. So you can do that with Business Builders LLC. If you don't own a business and you are looking at your credit score, George, let me ask you this. So before I finish this and before we finish up, those things that you see on TV about how you can check your credit report for free? Is that legit?
Most of the advertising is a advertising platform for credit cards,
Uh-huh.
and it's not accurate. Yeah, so it gives you a ballpark.
Okay. So you want to really, if you want to check your credit score, you want to go to like Experian and what are the other two? There are three that.
TransUnion and Equifax.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of good monitoring services out there that give you pretty anywhere from 5 to 15 points off, but you get a good idea of where your credit, and that's one thing you should do before you go out and purchase something.
And all that information is available in your book as well?
Yes, it's all there.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, George, thank you so much. I appreciate what you've been doing to help our businesses get funds that are needed and deserved during this time of COVID, and appreciate you writing this book that makes it a little less daunting for people to understand how they can improve their credit, strengthen their credit, and repair it. And so I'm really grateful for that. And so you'll be able to see the link to the book down below in the text. And George, it's always nice to see you. I mean, I get to see you already once a month at least for our board meetings, but it's nice to be able to see you again.
Likewise, Carrie, enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, for your support of the Green Chamber. And as always, we encourage you to think local first and support our locally owned businesses. We will be back again. If you are a member and you are watching this and you'd like to do a Zoom chat, we would love to talk with you. Any way that we can help promote you during this time of helping people remember that you're still existing and that you're open and that you're offering services, or if you're not offering services right now, that you're still a valuable part of our community, please contact us in private message, and I'll be more than happy to schedule a Zoom meeting with you. George, thank you so much. Even though I know that you're almost literally down the street from me, it's nice to be able to see you right now. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, George, and I hope you all have a great day.
Thanks, Jerry.